Are you hungry?
Give me something good.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Görgött. Today we're making Biff Rydberg. And Biff Rydberg is basically, it was invented in a hotel called Hotel Rydberg. And it was invented to make a more exclusive version of a pytt-i-panna, which is like a very classical common dish in Sweden, and you would translate it into hash, I guess. It's like small pieces of meat with onions and potatoes all mixed together. So this is supposed to be kind of a more luxurious version of that. That's what we're making today. Now, before we have a look at the board, please do me the huge favor, if you're not supporting the channel yet, please do so by clicking the subscribe button and checking the bell icon. The bell icon will allow you to get notifications every Tuesday when a new episode is online. But now let's have a look at this. Since it was supposed to be a more luxurious version, we have a fillet of beef here. We have our potatoes, we have our onions. These are the three kind of base components. We have some Worcestershire sauce that goes with the onions. We have some parsley that we're just going to chop and mix in with the potatoes when they're done. We have some horseradish. Yeah, it's three because I couldn't get a big one, so they give them to you in this small cuts. We have some cream and some mustard to make, you whip the cream and you add the mustard, and that's kind of a mustard whip. And we have an egg yolk, and that goes on raw at the end. So that's all the ingredients we need. There's quite a bit of prep. So start with peeling your potatoes and your onions, and then we'll do all the cutting. I'm not going to show you how we peel because you know how to peel. So I'll see in a bit once we've peeled everything. We peeled all our potatoes, and now it's time to cut them. Now this is up to each and every one, how they prefer to, or basically what size they want to have the potatoes in. I kind of like this about 1 centimeter squared. And then what you do is you add them to water to get some starch out of them, because they will fry nicely then. So cut up all your potatoes. I mean, these small bits you can get rid of. And then I'll see you once we've done that. There we are. Now we need to just rinse these in water. Like pour off the water you have, fill it up, pour it off again, fill it up until you see that most of the starch is gone. As you can see, the water now is much clearer. I rinsed it probably 3 times. So we'll put this away, we'll leave them in water, and then we'll continue with our onions. So we peeled our onions as well. Now, you can do this different ways. Either you do slices, they become a bit longer. I prefer them chopped, so we're just going to chop them relatively finely. This size is, for me, the perfect size, but it's really up to you. So now chop all your onions, and then we have the mise en place ready for that. And afterwards we'll move on to the meat. So I'll see you when the meat, well, when this is done and we're ready to chop the meat. So to our meat, it's the last prep we need to do before we can start cooking. Take a little bit more of a, not really the right knife for it, but another goal is to have similar size, maybe a little bit bigger than our potatoes. So this kind of size. So cut up your fillet, and then let's see what we do then. I think we'll put the onions on. I'll see you in a bit. So we have the prep of our main ingredients ready. The beef, potatoes in water to get the starch out, and the chopped onions. Now we're going to start with the onions. I have a pan there heating up. We'll move the camera soon enough, but just to get it going, I'll leave the camera there, because now we have to do the mustard cream as well. So let's wait until that gets hot enough, then we put in the onions, and then we'll make the cream. They're on 7 out of 9. This will take a while, but in the meantime, let's make the mustard cream. Our cream, our mustard, we'll whip up the cream first. You can do this with a machine as well, but it's not much cream, so it won't take long. So, that's what we want. Now, this is again up to taste, but I like this very strong. You should feel it in your nose. So I would say this is probably 2 tablespoons of Dijon Mustard to 2 deciliters of cream. We'll also get some black pepper, and we'll mix this in. Give it a little try. It's very good. But we're going to put some more mustard in there. I think another good tablespoon should do it. And just stir it in because you don't need to whip the cream anymore. You see it's turning a light yellow as well, which is nice. Let's give this another try. Now you feel it in your nose. This is ready. Put it in the fridge until we're ready with the rest. I'll show you the onions. We have our onions. Take the Worcestershire sauce. Probably a tablespoon. And a little bit of salt. And then we put them back on. And finish them off by evaporating the Worcestershire sauce. And then the onions are pretty much ready. So what we'll do now is we'll set up the camera here and we'll fry our potatoes and our meat. And then it basically just all needs to come together. We need to grate the horseradish, but we do that just before we serve it so that it keeps its strength. But I'll show you that later on. But now we'll move the camera. I lied. We didn't move the camera yet. Let's put this in a separate bowl. And we started with the onions because the onions you can easily just keep warm in the oven. So I put the oven on 60 degrees and we put this bowl into the oven and they will keep warm while we prepare the rest. But now we'll move in the camera. So we heated up some neutral oil and we dried off our potatoes in just a cloth. We don't want this too hot because we don't want them to burn before they cooked because they're raw, right? So medium-high heat. We're going to add a bit of butter to this later, but we can salt it now. So good wallop of butter in the middle. We'll mix this in, let it melt. Why? Because butter always tastes better. I guess we have probably another 10 minutes until this is fully done. So I'm relatively happy with the consistency and the color. So we'll put this to the side now in the oven. Keep it warm while we fry up our meat. I'll see you in a second with the meat. Now for the meat, we want the oil to be really hot because we just want to color it quickly. We don't really want to fry it. We want to give it color, but it's fillet, so you can eat it raw basically. So we don't want it overcooked. So really hot and quickly in, season and out. And I'm only doing 1 portion. I'll do the rest later for my family, but I'll do 1 portion now for you and then the rest later. A good handful. Salt and pepper. A little bit of butter. And that's basically it. They are still rare, and that's the way I like it. If you want them more, cook them more. But now we're ready to serve up our horseradish. So everything is ready. We grate the horseradish, the last thing. And what I did while we were frying there, I also chopped some parsley. That's enough for one portion. Plate, our mustard, our egg yolk, the rest is in the oven. We're ready to plate up, but before we do that, if you stuck with me this far, there must have been something you enjoyed about this episode. So do me the huge favor and hit that thumbs up button. It's just down there and it takes you a second, but it really helps me to get my content out there in the YouTube universe. So please do that. Thumbs up and also leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the episode. But now, let's plate up. Start with our potatoes. And then we put our meat. Bit of onion. A good wallop of our mustard cream. Our horseradish. And last but not least, our egg yolk. It's a very rustical plating, but I like it like this. Then you can mix everything together. Now let's dig in. It's almost a shame, but you need to break this. You need to break the egg yolk. You need to mix it in. You need to have a little bit of everything. This is fantastic. I know what I forgot. You probably realized too. I forgot the parsley. What you do with the parsley, just put it a bit on top of the potatoes. I'm not a huge parsley fan, so I'm not crying about that. But obviously, I didn't chop it for nothing, because I'm eating this with my family later on, so then I'll use it. But I'm sorry you couldn't see the green. This is such a classic in the Swedish cuisine. And I really enjoy it. And I think you might too. It's simple. It's just basically meat, potatoes and onions. But it's a nice addition with the horseradish. Has the same effect as the mustard cream, kind of gets you in your nose. A creamy egg yolk is just wonderful. So give this a try. I'm sure you'd like it. But that's it for this time. I hope you enjoyed our Biff Rydberg, a Swedish classic. Let me know what you thought in the comments. But that's it for today. Take care. Bye-bye.